Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday webinar brought to you by Contact Live. I'm delighted today to introduce Alex Lazinica, founder and CEO, and Darrell W. Gunter, SVP Strategic Partnerships from Underline Science. And they're going to talk today about their mission, which is to broadcast, capture, and preserve scientific conference information. I think this is our 6th webinar, and I can't think of a more specifically relevant to the times subject like this. Obviously, academic conferences are a big thing. They've been going for decades, and they are currently no more, not physically anyway. And I'm very excited to hear what Darrell and Alex have to say about that. So all I'm going to say is we're using Zoom webinar. Your mics are muted, and there is a Q&A tag at the bottom. Please do ask questions. We hope to run for about half an hour. I'm going to hand over now to Alex and Darrell, and I will see you later.
It's our time, or?
Yes.
Thanks, Clive. Thanks for a nice introduction. My name is Alex. I'm a former robotics scientist, one of the open science pioneers in open science publishing for the last 15 years. For the last 2 years, we have been focused on developing Underline Science, which is a world's first repository platform custom-made for scientific conferences. Darrell, please, if you can shortly introduce yourself.
Absolutely. I'm so honored to be part of the Underline Science team, having worked in the scholarly communication realm since 1996, working with Elsevier and then Colexis and AIP. And I'm just so excited about what we're doing here at Underline is to really complete the scientific record by providing access to these very important videos. Alex?
Yeah, as we all know, conferences play such a valuable role in the scholarly communication process. There is a lot of great ideas being exchanged, presented. People invest a lot of energy to prepare for the events and then to present their latest research, results, etc. But there are a lot of challenges going on. Regardless of the pandemic situation, our research showed that the people attend 3 events per year. They would like to go more, but they don't have either time or money or energy. Even when you get to the conference, there are always parallel sessions which you need to choose of. And when you come back home, there is no repository which kind of preserves such a valuable content and broadcast that information, which is important for the global audience.
And Alex, I want to add that how does a scientist researcher put their digital stake in the ground without the video being recorded and shared?
Yes, it's a big problem, and we call that one and done. So when the conference ends, everybody's focused on the next year's event, which I was always thinking of that. It's kind of funny, and then everybody just forgets what happened during the last 3 days. What about that information? What about that research presented? And for that reason, we started Underline Science to try to cope those challenges. Especially now, as we all know, the pandemic situation is this tragedy, I would say, in the world. The conference organizers and societies are struggling. Should they cancel their event? How to organize virtual conference? How much does it cost? Do we need internal special skills people, and how to approach the millennials and Generation Z? That's really important. Those are digital natives who are using videos as an important tool for their learning process. It's not just about the books and the journals. So Darrell, maybe you can present the
Absolutely. So when you think about the traditional repositories that are there, Google and Vimeo, they're nice, but they really don't provide you with the interaction that you need. When you look at YouTube, the YouTube channel is very nice. You can count the number of subscribers, But again, what about the interactivity? What about being able to add in other conversations? And what about translations and transcriptions of that information? How do you actually search this information on the World Wide Web if it's not aggregated and transcripted correctly? And so when you look at GoToMeeting, which is a good tool, GoToWebinar, they're good tools, but they have a lot of limiting factors. There was one conference recently where they only limited you to have 4 people on a panel with the moderator. What if you had a panel of 6? What if you wanted to have a group chat? And those traditional solutions really don't work. And then, of course, you go to the other spectrum where they're very expensive, the C events of the world, and the support is very limited. So very expensive, limited support. And so we saw this as an opportunity to create Underline Science, which is the world's first repository for scientific conference content, as well as the poster sessions. You know, I really feel for the researchers who put all this time and effort into a poster session, and you know, they hope that somebody will walk by and so they could talk about it. But at the end of the day, they roll up their poster session and they go home. But what about putting that digital stake in the ground? And this is what Underline Science is all about. It's about helping to bring new digital life to the conference. And so when you look at the services that we provide service at 3 levels. A pre-conference service. Now with the pre-conference service, this is where we take the worry off of the organization, because we provide registration support, we provide promotion, we help to you find speakers if you need to find speakers. And that's because, you know, Alex is also the owner of InTech Open, and they have a database of 500,000 researchers. But our goal is to help to boost your conference attendance. Now, when we get to the main conference support, our overarching goal is to help deliver the best conference experience. And the way that we're able to do this is that we have a top-rated HD TV quality production team that's able to really make sure that the video is captured, the sound is captured, and that everything behind the scenes is taken care of for you. All the organizers have to do is to enjoy the conference and have conversations with their colleagues. Now, when you think about the post-conference service, that is so important. Again, our goal is to build this repository of all of this great scholarly content. Now, we add a DOI number and a MARC record. We do the transcriptions, and if you want to translate it into different languages, we're able to do that as well. To the speakers, we provide the speakers a profile. So keep in mind that when you're working with Underline Science, not only do we provide you with your own dedicated web page, but your speaker profiles is there as well. You know, in research, it's all about connecting, communicating, and collaborating. And so we're providing this content which is shareable and discoverable and also citable as well. Again, we want to create that long-term post-conference engagement.
Yes. So as you said, we have 3 parts of our services. Pre-event part, in which we help conference organizers and societies to get as many attendees as possible. So we offer registration support, as Darrell said. We have a whole creative team who is helping them to design the creatives, leaflets, and then do the social media campaigns to promote the event, as said, to have as many attendees as possible. Main conference support, so it's the virtual conference. There can be as many lectures, as many sessions as needed. Everything can be live streamed or pre-recorded. There is no limit in number of attendees. We pay special attention to communication between attendees, so with the chats, with polls, with Q&A sessions, you know, to have this interactivity, right, Darrell?
That's right. That interactivity is just so important. And so you want that interactivity to go from the moderator speaker to the panelists to the audience and back and forth. And we're able to, yes, to organize that.
So this is an example of the schedule where everything is on one page. People can see what's happening during that day, can export the lecture to their digital calendars as well. We offer the main stage, which is a professional TV studio with the moderator who is moderating the event, and then the speakers are joining from all over the globe. Everything is full HD signal, so you can watch the event on your TV screen as well with the crystal clear sound and picture. In regards to the technical sessions, as said, there can be as many sessions as needed. We suggest to have a pre-recorded technical lectures with the live video Q&A with all of the presenters at the same time.
And the really cool thing that we do there is that we coach the speakers when they record it to wear the same outfit during the live Q&A.
Yes, the same is with the poster sessions. And what's particularly important to all conference organizers, how to promote their sponsors, how companies and corporations can promote their products and services. So we are building so-called virtual booths where corporate representatives can talk per video chat with the attendees as well, and many other sponsorship packages.
Oh, the conference analytics, yes. The conference analytics are just awesome. We're able to, and keep in mind that we're GDPR compliant, so everything is making sure that the privacy is maintained. But the detailed analytics reports, as you see, we tell you who's the most viewed lectures, where people were coming from geographically. We could tie it into the questions to the lectures, which lectures generate the most questions, what was the common thread of that. So the conference analytics have no limits, and that's provided to our organizers as well.
And now it's the important part. So after the event, all of the lectures are part of Underline repository platform. All of the lectures are enriched. How they are enriched, we are building the transcriptions, the translations to the major languages, DOI numbers, so lectures can be properly cited and referenced. We are building the abstracts, speaker profile, so each speaker has its own profile. You can connect with the speakers. You can ask specific questions even months after the event, you know, and you can start potential collaboration with your fellow scientist colleagues. Maybe you can say a bit about the benefits to the scientific community.
Alex, I actually need an hour to talk about the benefits to the scientific community, but I'll do it in 30 seconds. You know, we're capturing the scientific record, we're putting those digital stakes in the ground in regards to a researcher's hypothesis and what they're doing. The DOI mark records and transcriptions and translations, it allows us to really allow the community to search on a global basis about a topic, a deep topic. Let's say if it's AI, artificial intelligence, which we just did the Omnis conference. And so when they're able to do that, and then there's the further reading that we provide. Further reading is other content that's relevant to the video content. The author profiles, again, it's about connecting people. And the ongoing Q&A and chat after the conference, that conversation continues. And next thing you know, yes, we're in a post-COVID world. People are going to have established new digital records with each other and relationships, and they'll see each other in live at the next conference.
Yeah, I always like to say that we are giving the life to the conference even when the conference ends. Yeah, we are preserving such a valuable information. We already did many events and have speakers from world's major universities. So we like to say that we are experienced, and obviously this situation is helping us a lot. Our users, our attendees are amazed with Underline Platform, especially with the quality of our service and our live stream. Since we offer a dedicated team to the conference organizers, so we need to emphasize that we are not a software for virtual events. We are part of your team who is helping you from the day one in scheduling the event, in pre-event stage, during the event, and after the event. And
you might call us the showrunners for your conference.
Yes, and our professional TV studio and the technology, hardware and software which we use for the live stream events are specifically interested to our attendees. And yeah, as you can see, they said very impressive. Yeah, maybe you can talk about.
Nice. So when you think about it, we do one thing. We specialize in scientific conferences. We have a fully serviced dedicated team for TV quality. We have a colleague who's a 4-time Emmy winner who is making sure that the production is first class. The workflow, Jernay Masnek, who is our head of operation, he makes sure that all of the workflow is very smooth and streamless, because we're able to collect 400 presentations, video presentations, over the course of a couple of weeks with no hiccups, and everything went well. And then you think about the post-conference repository. Right now, where can you think of that you can go search the video conference literature? You can't, and that's where Underline is filling that void. And we also want to talk about the new revenue streams and all this digital real estate that we're going to have, that we're going to share the revenue with our partners. And then, of course, the ongoing promotion of your conference for next year, and tying that content in together with the further reading. We're really creating a 360-degree view of scholarly research. And then what's very important to Underline and to Alex is that we want to make sure that we have greater exposure with translations to non-native English speakers, which is very
Yes, that's quite important, because science is a global discipline. Language should not be the barrier of science, and with our transcriptions and searchable translations, we are building the bridges between scientists all over the world. Should we spend 2 minutes on showing the platform?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we have 2 minutes, and then we can jump to the Q&A session. Just a sec. You can see the screen, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this is the Underline platform. You can navigate through different conferences which are on the platform, or subjects. So for example, if I choose artificial intelligence, then I land to the AI site where all of the lectures in artificial intelligence are. Speakers, as said, all of the speakers have their own profiles. You can connect with the people, and you can start a collaboration. Let's go to the lecture page. So this is one lecture. You can share the lecture through various digital channels. You can cite, which I find particularly important. We want to say that the video lecture is the as well important way of scholarly communication process as conference paper, I would say. So you can properly cite it with the DOI numbers. You can download the slides of the PowerPoint presentation. You can connect with the speaker. And you can watch the lecture, obviously. Yeah. So as you see, we have the transcriptions. So you're able to go on any specific part of the lecture by clicking on that sentence.
That is so cool. You can jump right to that part that you want to see in the video.
Yes, if you have a proper internet connection. And then what's particularly important, if you're not English native, for example, I choose Spanish. Can you see, Darrell? Now all the transcripts are in Spanish.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But I love looking at the one in Mandarin, Alex.
Yeah. So now everything is Mandarin language, and this is all searchable. That's particularly important. So we are building the abstracts, the links to the further reading links to the external books or journals which are topic related with this lecture. Whole platform is searchable, so you can search through conferences, lectures, speakers, etc.
That is awesome. Wow, that is exciting.
Yeah.
Alex, I've often wondered, why did it take the industry so long to bring forth content from the conferences?
Yes, yeah, I don't know.
But Underline is doing it.
Yes, we are changing this situation, and we are helping scientists to get the access to the latest information which they need for their progress.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At the same time, we are offering conference organizers and societies much broader audience, you know, international audience, interdisciplinary audience. That's particularly important.
Yes, yes,
well.
yes. So I think the audience might have some questions for us.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
We can, Clyde.
Oh,
I
cool.
hope so.
I'm back. Hello. That was fantastic. I mean, this is our 6th webinar and they get better all the time. This was really, really instructive
Thanks.
and beautifully relevant for the time we're in. But, and also obviously from a conference organizer point of view, really fascinating. We have a number of questions, guys. So I'm going to run with the first one, which is going to the sponsorship issue, which I don't think you mentioned. How successful have people been with sponsorships so far when using this platform?
So the sponsorships have been going extremely well because we're providing so many different types of opportunities before. Before, folks were limited with space and time, but with this digital landscape that we have a lot of different options and also a lot of variety. So when you think about if someone wants to introduce a speaker, you have that. If someone wants to introduce a topic, if they want to sponsor the poll questions, they want to sponsor a particular part. So there's so much flexibility. And I'll let Alex talk about this very exciting exhibit hall that we have that allows the exhibitors to demonstrate their wares.
Yes. As said, as presented, we have this virtual exhibit hall where corporations can present their products and services, PDF, leaflets, multimedia, live video chat with attendees, etc. And as Darrell said, digital world is such more, you can be much more creative in finding specific ways how to target your prospects list. And we have newsletters, social media as well, etc.
I just wonder, how do you get people to go to see those exhibitors? How do you make sure that there is kind of like passing trade and traffic?
Well, keep in mind that the reason why we go to conferences is that we go to learn more information and we go to network. And specifically for me as being in sales, I want to make sure that I'm interacting with folks that I would like to purchase Underline. So what we do is that we create this environment which allows them to, first of all, locate the people that they want to contact, give them the vehicle to contact them, and then give them the vehicle to do a live video chat.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thanks, guys. So I have a question specifically about delegates. Somebody wants to know what kind of feedback you had from delegates that have attended your conferences, especially again in terms of networking and any feedback on what we would call those corridor chats.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Important aspect of any conference or event in general is the networking, and for that reason we are building now, we call that coffee lounge or beach.
Okay.
People are going
I like the beach thing, Alex.
Yeah,
everybody wants to go to the beach.
I like the beach as well, but sometimes I'm over the edge too much and that people do not understand me. Yeah, but the idea is that people can talk with each other in informal setting, and they can meet new people just by using arrows on your keyboard. You're like walking on the beach and meeting other attendees as well. And we tested that with the last event, the big event with 3,000 attendees, and people were quite amazed with that technology. Yes.
That's great. That sounds really interesting. What else do we have? Oh, this is an interesting one. Obviously, there is a huge move at the moment going towards virtual events. And we have a question which says, do you think people will get bored of virtual events with so many happening during COVID? Or is this really the long-term thing?
This is a really important question, since I would like to emphasize that Underline is a repository platform for conference lectures. We are helping societies organize virtual conference just to help them. But our main mission is not to organize virtual events. Our mission is to preserve and enrich lectures happened at the conferences, regardless are they virtual or in person. So if the conference is in person, we are sending our cameraman crew to capture the lectures, and we already did that before pandemic. So The
And
next
Alex,
year we designed few events. We call that hybrid model. Yeah, did you hear me? Yeah. Yeah. So we envision for the next year hybrid model that organizers would have in-person events and virtual event at the same time. So for the audience who would not like to travel or I don't know what, they can join from their computer screens, and people will be at the venue at the same time.
Okay, so central to the mission is obviously capturing the lectures and posters and so on from scientific conferences.
Yeah.
Why, in your opinion, is that so important?
I mean,
well,
it's so obvious that it's such a valuable information being presented at the events, and everything is lost. You know, there is no sense in that. Why
Sure.
not? Why not to preserve it and offer it to the global audience who can get a really big, huge gain of that and advance in their careers as well.
Sure.
To collaborate, you know, it's such an obvious need for this.
Okay, so that kind of fits in with question 5, I think it is. What kind of engagement do you get after the conference? Do a lot of people still visit the website and engage with the videos and the translations?
Yes, so for the events which happened virtually on our platform, people are coming back, they are watching the lectures, they are engaging, of course, and we are releasing this new feature in a few weeks that you are going to be able to pose a question to the speaker on the platform, and then the speaker will get the question per email and then answer. So it's kind of a post-event engagement with the content and with the speakers.
And keep in mind with the, we're going to be tied to all of the search and discovery ANI databases out there, as well as be infiltrated by the Google spiders and whatnot. So when someone does a search on a particular topic, underlying conference literature is going to come up. And if it's relevant, they're going to click on it. And then, of course, once they're in the platform, they're going to say, oh, well, what else is here that I might want to read or view?
Excellent. I have another interesting question. Well, I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
How would you compare yourself to, I guess, classic exhibitions? For example, the Frankfurt Book Fair.
Darrell, that's a question for you. You're
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting.
Idea of the Frankfurt Book Fair.
You know, the Frankfurt Book Fair. Let's just look at Hall 4.2 with the scientific literature. You know, you try to do your best to make your appointments ahead of time so that you could really maximize your day. But the sad part about it, there's a lot of presentations that are going on there. You can't be there. You can't split yourself in many different ways. So what Underline does, and we're in discussions with the Frankfurt Book Fair actually, what the Underline platform allows you to do is to be able to go to the events that you want to go to right away. That's very important, but also because of the record is being recorded, you can then record those, you can then view those recordings and then make connections with those speakers. So you almost have the best of both worlds, if you will. So you have your live interaction and then you have your interaction post-conference. But it's in context. And that's the cool thing about Underline is that everything that we do is in context to what is the important needs of the researcher.
Interesting. So you kind of see yourself as collaborative rather than competitive with the likes of the Frankfurt Book Fair.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're getting really close to our 30-minute deadline. I have one question I'd like to just finally put to you guys. What we haven't mentioned here much is publishing. We've talked about scientific content, we've talked about research and so on. The publishers are a really important stakeholder in all of this. What is the key message that you guys want to convey to the publishers about Underline?
Alex, would you like me to take that one?
Yes.
So publishers do one thing very well. They do one thing very well. They collect content, right? They publish content. However, but when you think about the ecosystem that we're creating at Underline, you know, the publishers, they're vertically, right? But we're horizontal. And so we're also able to allow interdisciplinary research to happen because we're publisher agnostic. So that's where we're a value add to all of the publishers there. Why should they set up their own video repository when Underline has done that? I can remember back in the day where Karen Hunter, God bless her soul, she's passed, had suggested to all the publishers to come on Science Direct platform. Elsevier wouldn't charge them. The publishers, no, we want our own platform. But to the researchers, that's very challenging. So what Underline is doing is saying, hey, we're independent, we're publisher agnostic, come join us, and let's make research more available to all of the global community in a very organized manner.
Okay. Gentlemen, really impressive presentation. Lots of nice questions, I thought. If we do get any further questions, we will very, very happily pass those back to you guys so that we can then get any queries back. I'm sure there'll be some other follow-ups to this. As I say, we'll geotag the whole thing. So that will be available, transcribed and indexed within 24 hours. And we will share that with all of the attendees and all the people who registered didn't make it. Just to flag up that our next event, our next Contact Live event is the Contact Forum. That's next Tuesday. We still have some places available there. All I need to do is big thanks to Alex, big thanks to Darrell. I hope this is the beginning of a relationship we can build on. And thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye.